Everybody always talks about escape the matrix and everything. If you really want a step-by-step guide to escaping the matrix, this is this video. And this video, I'm not just telling you how to escape the matrix. There are actually 2 books that are literally going to help you escape the matrix and go unscripted. And that's actually one of the name of the books. The name of these 2 books are Millionaire and Unscripted by Mj Dermaco. So I'm just going to kind of combine the 2 of them together, because like the both books, they kind of talk about the same thing, but they are 2 different books and they are like spread 2 different messages. But they kind of talk about the general message, which is like, you know, becoming unscripted and escaping the matrix and everything. The first thing is you can actually get rich quick. You know, I've been taught that getting rich quick is actually a bad thing. Like, no, you should never get rich quick. Getting rich quick is bad. You know, people that do get rich quick, they're scammers. You can actually get rich quick, because getting rich quick is a lot better than getting rich slow. But the one that is actually the bad one, that, you know, is a scam and everything, is get rich easy. You know, if like getting rich quick is actually, because we have seen many people that within, at least I know many people within 6 months, 1 year, they have literally gone from like $0 to making $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $20,000 a month. That's fucking quick. Like, that's fairly quick. So then within 2 years, 3 years, making $100,000 a month, like, that's quick. Imagine the type of career you have to work to reach that type of place, to be making $100,000 a month. And if you are going to work, you have to be like maybe a doctor or something. And imagine how long it's going to take you from, you know, like going to university and, you know, finally entering the workforce, and, you know, after leveling up again to eventually reach the part like where you're making you can't even make $100,000 a month, except maybe you're like, I don't know, Elon Musk's personal assistant or something like that. Like, it just won't happen. So like, that's actually getting rich quick. The one is that is the bad one, is getting rich easy. You know, oh, just click a few buttons here and there, boom boom boom, and overnight, boom, money is everywhere. Like, that's bullshit. Gets rich easy is nonsense. Gets rich quick is actually possible. So the next one is process over events. So the thing is that people see people that actually make money and get rich, they see it as an event. You know, like you watch your favorite YouTuber and you say, oh, this guy made $100,000 in the last 2 months, so he made $10,000 in 1 day or something. You just see that event. You don't see the actual process that happened behind the scenes. That yes, he made $10,000 a day, but for the last 2 years, for the last 3 years, this guy has been grinding on this business and working very hard and optimizing and failing and doing all these things. You don't see all that, but you just see the, you know, it just popped out of nowhere and made $10,000 a day. You just see like, oh, Elon Musk is worth I don't know, 180 something billion dollars, $200 billion, whatever. You don't see like the last 20-30 years that Elon Musk has been working, when he was sleeping on the office couch and sleeping on the factory floor and doing all those crazy stuff. You don't see any of that stuff. You just see like the $200 billion is worth today. So people have this mindset, this stupid mindset that, you know, making money and wealth is an event. Like, it's just something that just happens to you rather than a process. It's never ever an event. It's always a process. Like the person, the athlete, the business person, the musician, whatever, I can bet you that those guys, they have been grinding behind the scenes and you didn't know one thing about them. All of a sudden they pop off and oh, everybody's like, oh, I want to be the next Elon Musk or the next, you know, big Andrew Tate or whatever. Process over events. So according to Mj Dermaco, there are 3 parts, you know, in like making money and everything. There's the sidewalk, the slow lane, and the fast lane. So the sidewalk is basically the person Hamza likes to describe as Jeffrey. These are the people that they have no plans. Their own is just like spend. They have no plans for the future. How do they plan to get rich? I'll go and do the lottery, I'll go and do bets, I'll go and do gambling, and I'll win the lottery. That's their plan to get rich. Literally, that's literally their plan to get rich. So to me, like, those people are just idiots. Like, they don't think about tomorrow. They just want to party on bets, and like they just want to live like idiots. Basically, that's the sidewalk. You want to avoid that part as much as possible. The next one is the slow lane, and this is pretty much everybody. Like, the slow lane is 100 times better than the sidewalk, trust me. But this is like everybody. This is like your parents, your friends, your uncles, your neighbors, your church members, your everybody. Like, this is like the normal way, you know, go to school, get a job, and, you know, save like 10% of your income and everything, then invest that money to the stock market and sit down and wait for the stock market to compound. And when you're 65, finally are rich, you're finally financially free. This way will never work. First of all, because imagine how fucked up that is. When you're 65, that's when you're going to be financially free. First question is, do you even know if you're going to live till 65? You're not even sure. Like, you could literally die. Imagine somebody that's following that path and he gets into a car accident at 34. So like you're just fucked. You're screwed basically. You're screwed. And even let's assume you even live till 65 and everything. 65 years old, and now everybody that I know that is 65, like they can't run. They literally cannot sprint. And that's when you want to be rich, when you can't even sprint. So like I don't understand, you're going to be buying like the fancy Lamborghini or the Mustang or the Bugatti when you're 65, when you cannot even run, and when you have like wife and children and millions of responsibilities. Is then you want to like go and be living on the yacht and have like 20 women on your side. Like it's just like a fucked up plan. And they always talk about compound interest, because it will be like, imagine you invested in stock, you know, in 1959, today it will be worth $500 billion. And that's very true. But what these fuckers don't keep in mind is, anybody that was alive 1959, anybody that was like 0 years old in 1959 or so, that person right now is probably going to be like 70 something or 80 something years old. That's anybody that was just born that day. And anybody that was probably like 20 years old or so, that person is going to be dead by today. And so like, even if you manage to be alive, you'll probably be like an old ass man that, you know, you're pinning on your clothes and everything. Is it then you want to like be thinking about money and flexing and be like, it's not going to work? So the slogan is like you're just never going to read. It's literally just like that, just like it says, it's slow lane. But now there's a fast lane, and this is where the real money is made. This is where the real entrepreneurs are made. This is the person that makes $10,000 every single month. Somebody that is 18, somebody that is 20, somebody that is 25, and they have just been working on this business stuff for like 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 years, and they're making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 per month. This is the fast lane. This is the person that can look you in your face and say, what color is your Bugatti?
I like the color. You like the color? Yeah. Yeah, I had mixed reviews on the color. Some people said they like it, some people said they don't like it, and I said, well, what color is your Bugatti?
If you want to be a millionaire, like if you want to enter the fast lane of being a millionaire, avoid the sidewalk, because this one you're just like a complete idiot. Slow lane, you're never going to get there. And fast lane, yeah, that's when you're going to get there. So there's a script that has not been pushed on us since the day you were born. Literally, there's a script, like just like a script that they have written. They have written the scripts down that you're meant to follow that script since the day you were born, literally. And you already know what the scripts is. Like if you're watching a video like this, you probably already know. You go to school, do well in school, get a job, work at some high-paying job, hopefully, then work there till you're 65, then go and die. Like that's literally the script. So the point of that script is to make you a model citizen. And what does model citizen mean? M for mediocre, O for obedient, D for dependent, E for entertained, and L for lifeless. That's literally it. This part sounds kind of dark because that's pretty much everybody you know. Because the day, like I've read these books before, like I said, so this is just me going off script. I've read these books before, like I said, and I'm just like, I was watching videos on YouTube just to like recap the books. When I was listening to all these mindsets, like the first time, especially the first time I was reading the book, I was like, nobody actually thinks like this, you know, like it's slow lane and everything. I was like, you know, like everybody obviously knows that the fast lane is like the best route, you know, becoming an entrepreneur is actually the best way to make money and everything. But when I was rewatching this video, you know, like to make the scripts and everything, it felt sad. It felt sad as fuck, because I realized that pretty much everybody I know is following these scripts. In fact, if I myself am following these scripts, and I was just like, what? It felt fucked up. Like I just thought about my parents. Like think about your parents as well. I can bet that your parents are not some like entrepreneur or like an investor or whatever. They're just regular people, just like you. Like they went to school and they're working at their job and everything. At the beginning of the book kind of describes like the person that works the job and everything, describes his life. And you look at it, and that's kind of this kind of life your parents are living, the kind of life your uncles are living, the type of life the people you know in your life are actually living. And it's just kind of sad that we are all living in these scripts. Like it has affected every single one of us. And even the side workers too. That guy was like the most ridiculous one for me. I was like, who is so stupid to think that like winning the lottery can make you rich? Until I actually saw my friends like play the lottery, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I literally thought that it was just like a joke. Like nobody in their right brain can think of like, you know, winning the lottery to like become rich. You know, we're going to do that like bets or gambling, and that's how you actually like that. They actually was your plan to make money, and like, that was my plan. I was thinking like, you know, it has to be a joke. Until I saw my friends, you know, they'll be telling me, whoa, you know, this guy, see this person that won like 5 million because he was able to do this bet. And people like, oh my god. So it's like everybody I know in my life either falls into one of these two categories. They either like these side workers that they literally believe in betting and all this bullshit, or they are like just normal people like your parents and they work normal jobs and everything. It's very sad, but the script is literally designed to make you a model citizen. How fucked up is that? The next mindset you have to have is to switch from being a consumer to becoming a producer. Because think about it, every single person, every single day, including you that is watching this video right now, you are consuming this video. You have to switch your default behavior from just consuming and watching and eating, like consume, buy, like just wanting to get, and change your mindset to giving, creating, producing. That should be the mindset in your head right now. If you want to become rich, you don't become rich by being a consumer and everything. The consumers are the ones that stay poor. And at least even if you want to be a consumer, at least actually have the money to be able to consume. Become a producer, switch your mindset. So when you walk into a shop, for example, and you see fancy clothes everywhere, you see fancy cars, or you see food everywhere, instead of thinking like, oh yes, see this new phone, I want this new phone, I want this new clothes, I want this and this, instead of thinking like, oh, look at the marketing tactics these guys are using. These guys put all these phones here so that when I look at them, it activates this thing in my psychology that I want it now, and they put this timer here that if I don't buy it right now, like the deal is going to end, Black Friday. So they literally embedded this in my head that if I don't buy this thing today, like I'm not going to be able to see it again, and that's actually triggering something inside of me that is FOMO, that's fear of missing out. So like I'm actually compelled to buy this thing. Like, wow, look at the psychology trick these guys are like. Have that type of mindset. Don't be the idiot that's just like, oh, buy, give me. Like actually kind of have business minded mindsets towards things. Become a producer, not a consumer. So the next one is living for the weekends, and it is the one that this is one of the things that pissed the author off, Mj Dermaco. Imagine I'm like, give me $5 and I'll give you $2 in return. What? It's like, does that even make sense? That makes no sense. Give me $5, like hand me $5 and I'll pay you back $2. I didn't say I'll pay you back the $5 with $2. I'll just give you back $2. Like that's literally loss. But yet in our day-to-day lives, that's exactly how we live. Like many of us live for the weekends. You spend 5 days working the job, then 2 days, like having fun and living for the weekends. Then Monday comes again and here we go again. And you repeat for imagine how many years. So it's like Mj Dermaco is like, that's no way to live. Like, how can you trade 5 for 2 and be comfortable with it? Like, it's not supposed to be like that. How can you tell somebody like, give me $5 and I'll give you $2 in return? Like every day should be like a weekend for you. Like Mj Dermaco said, I think one part in the unscripted book, he said he was watching like a horror movie on Monday morning when everybody was at work and the theater was like empty. Go and read the book, you'll find it somewhere there's like they're really interesting books. Don't live for the weekends, basically. Like trying to reach the point that your job and everything doesn't, like, there's no weekend for you. Like you just work whenever, all day, every day is Saturday for you. There's no real weekend. So I kind of already touched on this one, the compound interest scam. They'll be like, oh, if you invest $5 today, the next 20 years is going to be worth $5 million and everything, and that's kind of true. But 20 years from now, first of all, $5 million, like because of inflation and everything, maybe it will be worth like $700,000 today in today's money. Then other than that, 20 years from now, like right now I'm 20 years old. 20 years from today, I'm literally going to be 40. So it's like it just never really works out. Like anything that, and the crazy part is like we don't even look at the whole stock market and everything. This is just assuming the stock market just like keeps going up, and we all know that never how it works in real life. It goes up, like it's just like this. The graph is never straight. It's like it goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So 20 years, imagine like maybe 15, let's even say 19 years, there has been like a very smooth upward growth, and 20 years everything just crashed down. So like then you're fucked. So compound interest is scam. I think Mj Dermaco is like the only time you should actually consider compound interest is like when you have a lot of money. So imagine, because if you invest like $1 million for example, and you have like, I don't know, 10% yearly return, that's $100,000 every single year of you having to do nothing. So that's actually profitable. But if you invest like $10, that's $1 every single year. Like, oh, what the fuck you want to do with that? So it's like, have a lot of money first before you like really start considering compound interest and investing and everything. Okay, so there's also this mindset you have to keep, the paradox of practice. So basically what this means, according to Mj Dermaco, is people that preach you should do one thing, but yet they do the other thing. So it's almost like all these compound interest gurus and everything, people that will tell you, to save your money, save, don't buy coffee, don't buy anything special, save every single penny and invest it in the stock market. Like you actually think that's a very good idea, you think that's a smart mindset, When you look at these people that are preaching that same thing to you, that's not actually how they got rich. They got rich by writing books or giving speech or selling this thing. They didn't like get rich from saving the pennies and everything, just like they're telling you to do. So that's called the paradox of practice. So it's like anytime you're listening to somebody that is giving you advice, actually like look at what they're actually doing, not what they're telling you. The next mindset is to detach your time from your income. No matter, like, if you are paid per time you work, you can never really become rich, because it's like when you're not working, like, you are not making money. It's just similar to your job. It's part of the reason why like your job can never make you rich, except maybe you're like a Elon Musk's personal assistant, so I don't know. So like you have to detach your time from your money. So you like set up your life and your business in a way that even when you're not there, even when you're sleeping, like it can literally make you money. So something like this, for example, when you're watching this video, I'm probably not sitting down recording the video. Like, I've already made this video, so you can go ahead and watch it. Like, it's not directly tied to my time. This one is still kind of indirectly tied to my time, because like I have to record the video and everything. But you get the point. I think there was this quote that if you cannot make money while you sleep, you will spend the rest of your life working every single day or something like that. So you have to find a way to make money while you're not actually actively working. Now, this is probably my most favorite part of this book. It's called FTE, and the full meaning of FTE is fuck this event. So this basically just means when you reach like the worst points in your life, where you're like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore, like we cannot keep living like this, change has to be made. Then you now go ahead and actually start making a lot of change. Right, that is the FTE, fuck this event. So according to Mj Dermaco in his book, the time this happened to him is when he was working like a limousine job, like he was working this crappy limousine job, like he was the driver and everything. So it's like, he sat in the limousine, it was like snowing, snow was everywhere, his socks was wet, it was cold and everything, and he just got like sat there and like looked at his life, and he was like, look at my life, like what am I doing with my life? And was like, fuck this, like he's never ever going to experience this again. And that's how I was actually like eventually able to like start building up and start like doing things till eventually like became successful. In my own life personally, I can't really pinpoint one exact event like this, but I've had like a series of them. Like the most recent one is I came home. I still made a video on this channel. I came home from school one day and I just saw how messed up everything was, and I especially seen the stress on my parents' face, like they really need money and everything, we're broke. And I just felt pissed off, like why is this our life? Like why does this have to be our life? Why do we have to be the ones that we're always broke and we're always stressed and we have to work like donkeys before we see money, like before we even see money to buy stuff? So it's why there are people out there that barely do anything, dumber people that don't deserve this money at all. Yes, like they make so much money, and we were here like really working hard and striving and everything, we're only making pennies. And the thing that just made it worse for me was, at the time there was this guy that was helping us out in our farm and everything, and the guy died. I made a video on it. So I just came home from school and I saw my parents being stressed and everything about money, and I just heard these guys dead as well. Like at that point in my life, I was like, like I have to go. I have to make this work. It is a must. I must do something about this. So that was just like an example of my own focus event. But generally, it's like when this thing becomes so bad that you just can't take it anymore, and there's like change has to be made. And according to Mj Dermaco, like this is the period when like wishes and just like wants and desires actually turn into commitments. This is the time that you saying like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, oh, I want to make. This is the time that comes like, I need to make money, I have to make this work. That's like what fuck this event does to FC. The next one is to build money trees. So money trees is like, in real life money trees don't really exist, but just like common sense, like build something that is kind of like a money tree that it seems like generates a lot of money for you. So according to Mj Dermaco, there are like 4 ways to do this. So there's rental properties, distribution system, software systems, and content system. So rental properties is like you rent out a house or you rent an apartment or something like that. Distribution system is something like Amazon that like they help to distribute products. Like Amazon, they don't really make the products, they sell themselves. They just like connect manufacturers and retailers to like the consumers, so they just distribute. Software system is like your Android or Google or Windows or whatever. Content system is stuff like YouTube videos, music, podcasts, all those type of stuff. Another good point Mj Dermaco makes is the law of effection, and basically what he means by the law of effection is just to make millions impact millions. And that's actually kind of true, because it doesn't matter what you sell, whatever you're selling, if you sell it to 1 million people, you're probably going to make like $1 million. So like to make millions just impacts millions, and there are 2 ways. Like you have to look at either have magnitude and skill. Because think about somebody that just goes and, oh, I want to build a business, and they open their little like lemonade side road shop thing, like they're selling like sweets or water or something like that. Like they both lack magnitude and skill. Magnitude in the sense that the thing what you're selling, it should be expensive, and skill is you should be able to sell it to many people. So like person selling water by the roadside lacks magnitude, because how much for like one bottle of water is very cheap. Then skill, you know, how many people can you sell it to a day? If you maybe manages to sell 100 people, like that's like a very good day. So like imagine that's just 100 people. So like it lacks both magnitude and skill. But somebody that sells that same water, like maybe the water companies, water bottle companies, sell that same, you know, cheap $1 water or whatever, they sell it to like 100,000 people every month, 1 million people every month. Like they distribute it around the city or the country or whatever. Now they are making millions because like they sell a lot of it. But a person that doesn't have skill, like just magnitude, so maybe I don't know, it sells like a car, for example. A car is like $200,000 car, for example. So like you can't really sell like a $200,000 car to like maybe 100 million people, something like that. But you're just usually selling that to like 10 people, 15 people, 20 people. That's already like more than $1 billion. So you kind of see, like you have to kind of have one of the two. You have to have either magnitude or skill. And if you have the two, you just like you become a billionaire basically. So to make millions, make sure you're impacting millions. So the next thing Mj Dermaco says in his book is don't follow your passions. This is the only place I'll kind of disagree a little bit with him. Because even though as much as I love the whole idea, I kind of a little bit disagree. But let's just explain. So imagine there are two people. You know, everybody preaches follow your passion, everything. So there are two people. There's this guy that is really passionate about martial arts, for example, passionate about, you know, taekwondo and whatever. So he goes, who follow my passion? So he goes to, you know, like the corner in his streets, and he opens like a martial arts dojo, and you know, he's training people to become martial artists and everything. And after like 1 year or 2 years, this guy is shutting down this dojo because, you know, like he's barely able to make profits and keep his expenses. Like it's just running at a loss every single day. And then imagine another person that is passionate about, like, you know, animal shelter or dogs or something like that. So it's always person to like go and, you know, open like a dog building or something like that across the road. This person goes to go and like build a software that, I don't know, distribute like a software that distributes some type of stuff. That's a high-tech software. So this person, you know, eventually like sells the software company and makes millions of dollars. And after now this person is rich, the person now goes to like, you know, do the dog shelter thing she was originally passionate about. So Mj Dermaco was like asking, like, who is actually smarter in this case? Is it not the person that first kept his passions first and went to like actually do what the market needs, rather than the guy that just, who I'm passionate about martial arts, so, you know, let's do martial arts? And his reasoning for this is like, nobody really cares about your passion. And if you think about it, it's actually kind of true. Your passion is like your own selfish interest. Only you cares about your passion. Only you cares about, you know, being happy. The market doesn't care. Honestly, I don't care. You don't even care about my passion. I don't give a fuck what I love doing. Like, all you care about is, can you provide me value? Can you help me? Can you help me solve the problems I'm experiencing? That's the exact same thing Mj Dermaco is trying to make. Like, that's the point Mj Dermaco is trying to make. Like, the guy that opened the martial arts studio in like his streets or the little corner of the city, there was no demand for like a martial arts studio. Nobody cared about martial arts studio. It's just the one that was really passionate about it. So like that's why he barely had customers. Or the woman that went ahead to like create like some software for some type of business or whatever, like there was high demand for that, and that's why she was able to make a lot of money. The reason why I kind of disagree with Mj Dermaco a little bit on this one is like, because when you're really, like, when you're passionate about something, when you really care about something, you're a lot more likely to put in work in that thing compared to something you don't really care about. But I do see where it's coming from. So my own, you know, a little bit like hybrid solution is just try to make sure the thing you're passionate about, there's like demand for it. First of all, make sure that what you're doing, maybe you don't have to be super passionate about it, like, oh, you want to like just like if the way you're passionate about playing video games or watching a movie or something, but make sure that you care a lot enough about the thing you're passionate about, the thing you are trying to work on. Because if you are trying to chase something that you give no fucks about, you don't care about it at all, but you know, oh, it can make me a lot of money, like, you're just not going to work. Like, imagine two guys, the guy that is just working at this thing just because, oh, it gives me a lot of money, and the guy that's working at this thing because like this is just my life, this is just what I want to do every single day. This guy is 100 times always going to win compared to this guy that's just, you know, working for money. So make sure like whatever thing you are choosing, even if you're not like super passionate about it, like the way you're passionate about like watching movies or whatever, make sure you're like at least care enough about it to be able to work hard on it. But the other reason why I kind of disagree is like modern day now, you can kind of monetize your passion. Like it's actually possible, especially with the whole internet and everything. Like you see the examples I gave, there was no like YouTube channel related or TikTok or affiliate market, like there was none of that stuff. So it was like the guy that starts a martial art this time goes to start it at the corner of a shop. Of course, like that is like you can't really make much money like that. But if you start posting maybe martial arts videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and you actually follow the right sales funnel and strategy and everything, and you monetize it right, of course you can make a good living. The only thing is that you might not make as much money as if you went to create like a software business or something. You might not make as much money, but you will still make a good decent level of money that will be good enough for you. As if you should do what you're passionate about. I won't if you're not like super passionate about it. That as if you deeply care about the thing you're doing, like a lot more than just who wants to make money and everything. So in the book Unscripted, there's like this diagram thing that I used to draw there. So at the bottom of the diagram is the FTE, fuck this event. So there are like other components of the diagram. I'm just going to speed through them very fast. So theory B just simply means your beliefs. Like what do you believe about money? When you think about making money and everything, like what comes to your mind? What is your belief about it? Because if you think about it, your belief is probably one of the most important things. If you believe that making a lot of money and becoming wealthy is impossible, guess what is going to happen? Of course it's going to be impossible for you, because that's what you believe. So you have to actually like assess your beliefs and make sure you're actually believing in the right things. So the three beliefs he wrote here is the short-cut scam, the special scam, and the lock scam. So short-cut scam is people that are thinking like there's a shortcut to wealth and everything. There's no shortcut to wealth. Special scam, people that think that people that make a lot of money or people that become rich and wealthy, they are like super special people, so it can never be me. Most of them are just ordinary fuckers like you. They just like work hard and learn the right things. That's why they are successful. And the luck scam, the things like people get lucky, like this guy got lucky, that's why he's like rich. It's like another example he uses is think of two brothers. So two brothers, they live in the exact same house. Let's assume they work the same jobs. So the first, like they both go to work and they come back in the night. So the first brother, he comes back in the night, he's tired, pulls out like his phone, scrolls on social media, plays video games, goes to go and sleep, repeats the next day, goes back to work, come back, play video games, like just like that. And the second person, when he comes back from work, instead of scrolling on social media or going to play video games, he picks up a book and starts to learn about copywriting, or starts to learn about video editing, or starts to learn about starts to learn a skill basically every single night. Like imagine who is eventually now going to make money. The guy that now, like the other brother that has been working on himself, and every time he comes from work he's actually learning something and using his time to do something meaningful. He now eventually becomes rich and makes money. Can you really call him lucky? Probably not. It's just like probability. The guy that is putting in a lot more work is probably going to make a lot more money than the guy that doesn't like do anything. Luck is actually a scam. Like of course luck does play like a role and everything. Like to some degree you have to get lucky, but also you can kind of create the luck for yourself. Like if you're just sitting around and not doing anything, you're never going to get lucky. But if you're actually putting in work, eventually, like when the luck comes, it's like you are prepared to take advantage of that luck. So the next section of that diagram thing is MP. This means meaning and purpose. So it's just like find a bigger reason for why you do the things that you do, rather than just like let me just make, like have a bigger reason. Like for example, somebody that just wants to make money because I just want to make money, it's not going to work as hard as somebody that wants to make money that that's the reason of making money because like I want to set my family free, I want to retire my parents, I want it that when I get married my wife doesn't have to go to work, but I want it that when I get married and I start having children, I can spend a lot of time with my children, that I don't have to spend all that time working. Like imagine somebody that has that as his driving force and the other person that I just want to make a lot of cash. Like the guy that has that as his driving force is going to make a lot more progress compared to the guy that just wants to make a lot of cash, money. So have a bigger reason for the reason why you do things. If you want $1 billion today, what would you do with the money? Yes, I will travel to Dubai and I'll go and sit on the beach and buy supercars and buy this for my mom, buy. After you do all those fancy things, like what else do you not do? Like if you can identify something you will do, like I'll actually start to write a book, I'll actually like create this type of product, I'll actually do this and do this and do it. Like that's probably your purpose. Like that's one way to find it. But the best way I'll recommend is just sit by yourself, turn off your phone, turn off everything, sit in the room for hours and just think, like what do I want to do with my life? What is my purpose? What do I want to do with myself? What are my goals? What am I trying to achieve? If you give yourself a few hours or a few days, like you'll probably find your thoughts. Starting to get into the juicy parts. So now there's FE. and this stands for fast lane entrepreneurship. So there are like 5 components your business should have. So in the 2 books he describes it differently. In Millionaire Fast Lane he calls it Next, NECST, and in Unscripted he calls it Cent, CNTS, but they both mean the same thing. So let's just use NECST because that was the first one I read. So N stands for need, E stands for entry, C stands for control, S stands for skill, and T for time. Before you start a business, you must make sure it follows this framework. N is need, like is there need for that business? Just like the martial arts example I gave before, there was no demand, there was no need, nobody cared about his martial arts studio at the corner of the streets and everything. So make sure like whatever you are doing, there's actually demand for it, there's need for it. E for entry, the entry like to get started in that thing. Can anybody just do it? Because according to Mj Dermaco, it's like anybody can just get started in whatever business you are doing. Like it's going to be a lot harder to succeed. Not like it's impossible, but it's just going to be a lot harder. But like for example, now you cannot just go and build the next Tesla. So like you can't really compete with Elon Musk, because like an average joke like me cannot just go and start the next Tesla or the next Amazon, because the barrier to entry of that one is extremely high. But anybody can just start a YouTube channel. The barrier for entry for just starting a YouTube channel is kind of low. But the advantage like there for the YouTubers and everything is like for creating good YouTube videos, the barrier for entry is high. So everybody can start a YouTube channel, but not everybody can make good YouTube videos. So like the barrier for entry is actually kind of high. C is control. Like, do you have control over your business? The story I won't tell you is like earlier around June. So when I was like going all in my faceless channel before, so it was like a motivational faceless channel. I'll take clips from like David Goggins podcast, unscripted podcast, and I'll edit it together and make it a video. So I was trying to join Amazon's affiliate program so that I can get links for like David Goggins books or unscripted books or any books regarding like mindsets or money, whatever. Get the affiliate links, put it in my video description so people will buy and I make money like that. And every single time Amazon, if you okay, they are not going to watch this video, but every single time those fuckers kept like they'll just kept removing me for the program for no good reason. Like I would join, and literally after one day they'll just kick me out. They'll say like my account has been deleted and whatever, like for no good reason. I remember I even used like another account. I created another account to do this thing. Then they verified it. Then another linked the affiliate links. I was now like posting it on like that channel. Once they saw it was linked back to that channel, they just cancelled the account instantly. And I was very pissed off. I was just angry, like, why are these guys not letting me sign up? But what I now kind of realized was, this is actually a good thing, because imagine I've already signed up and I've already made money, I've already made a little bit of money, and they just like close down your account like that. So, like, what are you now going to do? At that point, you're pretty much fucked. So I was kind of grateful that they didn't even allow me for Amazon. Fuck you. Or C is control. Like, whatever business you're trying to do, make sure you have 100% control over it. Mj Dermaco calls it hitchhiking. Like, imagine you enter a car and you sit at the passenger seat. Like, of course, sitting at the passenger seat is a lot easier than being the person driving. But the driver can literally do whatever he wants with you. He can carry you anywhere, he can drive you anywhere, he can drive rough. You people can get into a car accident, but you can't do anything about it. Like, you're just at the side. All you can do is just like complain, and that's it. So it's like whichever vehicle you are getting into in terms of business, make sure you actually have control over it. And you kind of frowned on like affiliate marketing and MLM, that's multi-level marketing, because these businesses you don't really have control over it. Like, the person doing it can just literally like change the terms and conditions just like that. And just like Amazon, they can literally just kick you out and you're fucked. And also to social media, making YouTube videos, being on TikTok or whatever, it's also kind of flawed, because like just like Andrew Tate, you could literally just get cancelled severally, or everything you have built up is going to collapse. So like, having a YouTube channel and everything is not like the best business with it. The next one is skill. Just like I mentioned earlier, skill. Like, can you sell the things to a lot of people? Can you scale this business up? If you cannot scale it, if the like ceiling for it is capped, if it's like hard to scale, it's not a very good business. And time. Make sure this business is not attached to your time. Make sure like even when you're not there, the thing can still make you money, because at that point it's basically just a job. Business you're starting doesn't have to follow like every single one of these things, because you just like I said, the YouTube business, for example, you see it kind of doesn't follow every single one, but it does check enough of them that it's still a very good business model. So make sure like whichever business you're going into, it doesn't have to follow every single one, but it should check a lot of all these boxes to make sure that it's a good business model. So the next part is KE. This stands for kinetic execution. This is basically the grind. This is like when the real work starts. This is when the ideas you write on, the little napkin on the little piece of paper, It actually goes into like real life. It actually turns into real ideas rather than just remains concepts. This is when you are meant to take action, and make sure you take action before answers. Like so many of us, we get stuck in this phase. Who myself, I'm not going to pretend, like I do fall into this trap a lot of times. Like you just do a lot of over research and unnecessary research and everything rather than just jumping into the things like you want to do. Like once you have done a little bit of research about what you're trying to do and you already have a bit of idea, go all in. Like start working hard, start grinding on this thing. Don't sit around and just be like, oh, I'm not ready yet. So like take action before you're ready. You will have to follow the AAA system. So it's to act, assess, and adjust. So act, start the business or make the YouTube videos or whatever, do the outreach or whatever. Assess, did this work, which videos did well, which outreach did people respond to, and adjust which one was bad. So just adjust, do more of the good ones and level up from there. Expect it to be difficult. Like I said, get rich quick is extremely possible, but get rich easy is not possible. That's like the bad mindset you have to get rid of. It's always going to be hard. Anything worthwhile in this world is always 100% going to be hard. Like if it was easy, everybody will have it, everybody will be rich, everybody will be financially free. So just know that like it's going to be hard. And also get rid of this mindset that you want to be balanced and everything. Balance is bullshit. Because think about every successful person Steve Jobs and Thomas Edison, all these guys, all these successful guys, you think they were like balanced when they were trying to create all these like things they created? They were not balanced at all. People that become successful in life, they don't have balance. For a period of time, you have to go out of balance. You have to dedicate like your entire life to working on this thing. Like forget balance. Then after you like achieve the success and do everything, like you can like start to even out the rest of your life. It doesn't mean like just live in your room and become like a goblin and never have a life. Like obviously use your brain, but stop getting rid of the idea that you want to be balanced. Because if you are balanced in like maybe social life and business and school, like you're just balancing, like you're just going to get mediocre results and everything. You have to like go very very high and like perform very very well in business or whatever thing you're grinding on. And maybe when you now start to reach significant success here, you can now kind of like level it out and perform or like balance the rest or whatever. So balance is sharp bullshit, especially at that beginning phase when you're trying to like get ready, like you're trying to get the thing off the ground. Forget about balance, just focus on putting in the work and getting this thing off the ground. And the last one are the 4 Ds. This stands for 4 disciplines. The first one is to be immune to comparisons. You should usually say don't compare yourself to people and everything. Like I'm kind of on the fence with that one, because on one hand, like yes, you shouldn't really compare yourself, but the other hand, you should kind of, I think a better way to do it is to like compete, don't compare. Because like someone like me, for example, comparing myself to like some top YouTuber with like 5 million subscribers and everything, like that's a very stupid way of comparison, because like I'm just going to always feel bad. But comparing myself to like another YouTuber that is like maybe at 100 subscribers or 50 subscribers too, and I'm like, okay, this guy is doing this thing, so I want to like move forward, and like I want to do this step so that I can overtake him. I want to upload more frequently, I want to make my videos like this, I want to do this. Like that's a healthy way of doing it. But looking at maybe somebody like Mr. Beast that is like 100 million subscribers, and it's like it's just way out of your league. Like it makes no sense to like be comparing yourself. So like compare yourself the smart way. The next one is purposed savings. Don't buy dumb shit. I know we said earlier that you shouldn't buy coffee. Like the idea is that you should only save, like your point of saving money should be to put that little money you're saving into building a business. Like you should live under your means for the point of just like eventually being able to like make so much money that you don't need to longer need to do that. So maybe for a period of time, maybe don't buy coffee and save your money. Don't buy stupid things you don't need. Like save your money and everything. Like don't just save and just keep it and just I'm saving my money. Like when this money is like decent enough to actually do something, to buy equipment, to buy software, to buy internet, or to buy mentorship, to buy a course, whatever, you actually go ahead and purchase that course. Don't just sit around and be trying to save your money. Like don't sit around and be trying to save like $50 or $20 or $5, whatever, every month. Like actually any money you're able to like gather and accumulate, reinvest it into your business. Next one is measured elevation. So in simple terms, like don't get into lifestyle inflation. So lifestyle inflation is right now maybe you make $20, you spend $20, then you start to make $100. All of a sudden you're spending $100, and now you make $1,000. Now you're spending $1,000. So it seems like maybe now you're only making $20. Start making, like when you start making 100, still like be spending like 20. Start making 1,000, then maybe you can now start it. So like there should be like an elevation between the two, that there should be gap. Because maybe you now make $1,000 and spending, and when your income now drops down to maybe 200, what do you do? Now you're in debt, now you're in the red. So like use your brain, don't get into lifestyle inflation. It seems like it's very like Less nice sounds like common sense, like obviously don't get into less nice but when it actually like presents itself to you, then that's when it's a lot more challenging. So just keep this in mind when you actually start making money, because I know if you're watching videos like this, you're going to start making money in the future. So the next one is consequential thoughts. Know that whatever action you do has consequences. So in Mj Dermaco, in his book, like the stupid action he was talking of, he said like, you know, he had made money and everything, so he bought like a supercar and was doing drag race with like some other guy across the screen. Like, so I think his car, like, he had an accident eventually, but he didn't, nobody was harmed, and he, you know, himself was not harmed, but the car was damaged. But the point I was just trying to make, like, imagine how stupid of a decision that was, because as he had that accident, he could like literally have killed himself, or he could have even killed other innocent people. So like, you have to actually think about the consequences of your action. Like, if you are just going around and maybe like fucking girls up and down, know that if you are just like, you fuck all this guy, you eventually get one pregnant. Like, now you have to suffer the consequences of your action. Or just like, you know, Mj Dermaco's example, he was driving like an idiot. So if he had killed somebody, like, all of a sudden now he might have to spend years in prison or have to pay like a bill, or like just get himself into like a much more complicated and worse situation just because he didn't sit down to think about the consequences. So make sure you think about the consequences of your action, especially like big massive actions you're taking. Like, if I do this stupid thing, if I go and jack off, or if I go and eat this trash food, like, what are the consequences that is going to happen? The last point I'll make of this book is the desert of desertion. So this is basically when you finally start the YouTube channel, or finally starts the copywriting, or finally starts the dropshipping, or whatever business model you get into, and you just get no results. You literally get no result. This is like that desert. It's just like an empty space, desert like period that you walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, but you get no results from this thing, and eventually you give up. So Mj Dermaco is like encouraging you that you should like keep going. I'm encouraging you as well. Keep going, keep striving, keep working hard, because the thing is hard, it's difficult. Like, especially when you're working and working and working and working and seeing no results, it starts to get discouraging. Like, you don't get that feedback to know whether what you're doing is good or bad. Like, you're just empty, like just no feedback at all, no sales, no views, no nothing. Eventually, when you make it past that stage of the desert of desertion, like, you're going to get your first sale, you know, your first view. Like, at that point your brain kind of lights up that this thing is actually possible, like this is going to work. So like, just keep going till eventually you reach that point. So that's basically like the summary of the two books, you know, Millionaire Fasting and Unscripted. Like, two fantastic books I recommend. Like, if you are trying to become an entrepreneur, make money and everything, like, I recommend you read these books. I think the main message is like to just escape the matrix and all that. But I think it's more than just, you know, escaping the matrix and making a lot of money. So just kind of like live life on your own terms. Like, be able to like have money to buy things you want to buy. Be able to like live the place where you want to live in. Be able to like work the type of job you want to work. Be able to like do things you actually want to do to get freedom. That's what this whole making money and all this stuff is for. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really recommend go and read the two books. Like, literally don't say, oh, I've watched this video. No, go and read those books. Like, very, very important. See you in the next one, bro.